What's good, y'all? Kyle Loftus, and today we are talking about gels, what they are, when to use them, and why. So without further ado, let's dive in. Alright y'all, so what exactly are gels? Well, to put it simply, gels are a piece of colored plastic that you put in front of a light source to alter the color of the light without modifying the light quality or intensity. When to use gels? Well, gels can be used for a couple different scenarios. Mainly the key reason to use gels is to either change the color of the light, to change the temperature of the light, or to change the tint of the light. So let's talk about the latter two first. So changing the temperature. Let's say you get into a situation or scenario where you're dealing with some light sources. We've got some practical lights, ceiling lights, we're in an office setting, and the CRI is obviously very low. And so we're getting these very dull, maybe slightly green and very tungsten lights. Well, what you could do is, rather than using daylight balance like I'm doing right now with my aperture, is I could set this with a tungsten or a CTO gel, color temperature orange, to then set this light to tungsten. So then all the lights have the same color temperature, and then I can adjust that in post-production. Additionally, sometimes people like to use gels to alter the tint. So again, let's say we're in a situation, I find this with weddings a ton. You know, weddings, the reception is almost always indoors, and it's in a setting where the light is, one, very tungsten, but it's also very, very green. They're just bad CRI lights. I'll throw a light source onto my camera, just a nice little shotgun light, and I will throw a magenta gel on that to kind of counter correct the green tint that kind of often comes in these reception halls. Now lastly, what I want to focus on, and this is the key area and the most common where I think people use gels, is changing the color. So using gels to influence and impact the overall mood, tone, and feeling that a shot gives. You know, so for instance, right now we have just a simple clean daylight balance, but if we change this and we use some harsh red light or some deep magenta or purple, it would give off an entirely different mood and feeling. Now let's go ahead and look at a couple examples. I'm gonna go ahead and change the color of my light source here, and we'll go ahead and see just how much that impacts and influences the feelings and emotions that are evoked from the image that you're viewing here now. Now notice how it feels like we're in some strange, eerie schematic planning. You can notice how there's just a entirely different mood, emotions, tonality that is evoked just from changing this color here. Let's go ahead and switch it up because this is fun. So as you see here, we've got a really just green sepia type tint going on here, and so we're altering the tint, but this is more, again, kind of changing really, I'd say, color for a creative, stylized look. And so you'll see this with a lot of thrillers, war films, for instance, like Black Hawk Down. You can see this with the movie Seven, one of my absolute favorite and incredible thriller. Really just sets and evokes this very cringy, uneasy, emotional feeling. It doesn't have a clean, relaxing, calm image like a nice and well white balanced look does. So let's go ahead and switch back to that. Clean image, it's good stuff. So as you guys can see there, just a couple examples, and I'm kind of running some clips from a recent music video I did called Dead Flowers, where you could really just see the impact that using gels had. We literally used gels on every single scene look within this music video, except for the overhead look where he is getting flowers kind of falling down on him and with the spotlight effect. That's the only clean white balance look we did. Everything else, guys, had gels, and you can just see how it really impacts and influences the film. All right, y'all, that's it. Hope you learned a thing or two about using gels, when and why. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a comment if there's anything I missed, or if you got any questions, and I'll see y'all next week. Later.